This year, I worked with State Senator Garrett Richter and State Representative Jay Trumbull to recognize veteran service. This legislation, which was signed into law, waives the application fees for veterans when they apply for any number of our department's professional licenses and registrations. In addition, their spouses or business that are majority owned by a veteran or their spouse are also eligible. There's nothing that we can do to fully repay the sacrifices of our veterans, but we are working to support our veterans any way we can.
Thanks, Commissioner Putnam. For Commissioner Spotlight, I'm Dan Peary.
Do you trust ensuring the health and profitability of your beef cattle to a feed-through solution? If so, make it the trusted name in hornfly control. Alticid IGR specifically targets hornflies, the #1 insect threat to your bottom line. This insect growth regulator works in cattle manure, interrupting the hornfly life cycle. Avoid the uneven mix and costly reapplications from do-it-yourself options. Alticid IGR is pre-mixed for the optimal dosage every time. Visit AlticidIGR.com to learn more, or talk to your feed dealer about adding Alticid IGR to your supplement.
And the Florida FFA Association State Convention and Expo will be held July 13th through 17th at the Caribe Royale in Orlando. The annual State FFA Convention and Expo is a highlight of Florida's FFA year. Nearly 5,000 members, advisors, administrators, alumni, parents, and industry partners will gather to celebrate the achievements won by the past and present generations of agriculturists while continuing to develop their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. To learn more, go to flaffa.org. Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs. Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
All right, we're going to talk about cars. It's Auto Repair with Personal Care. Your host is Matt Gibbs. He's in the studio right now, ready to take your phone calls. We love your phone calls, and you're invited to make them. The number is 622-9622. Let me flash a few credentials in front of you. Matt Gibbs is the owner of Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales, and you've been in this business all of your life. And I don't know how many years that is, but anyway, so good morning, Matt. How are you?
Larry, how are you?
Pretty good. There was one storm-related question I had for you.
Okay.
But first, we have a contest. Now, I don't know the details. Robert just reminded me. The NASCAR contest, we're giving away tickets to the Coke Zero 400. Is that the whole name?
Yep.
And the Firecracker 250.
Okay.
And so we'll be asking trivia questions, and then we'll be giving tickets away to those races. So, you like going to these races?
I used to go.
Not so much anymore?
Yeah, not so much anymore. It's just... there's not enough time in the days.
All right, so I want to get back to that, but I want to ask you the storm-related question. Okay. There was an article in the news warning us about all the things. One of them is if you go through a puddle, if you're stupid enough to go through a puddle because you think, oh, I've driven this road 100 times, it's not that deep, and it is, and your car stalls. The thing said, do not try to restart your engine. What happens if you do?
Well, first of all, we're not going through a puddle. We're going through a pond.
It's like a pond, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, the reason that you don't want to start the engine is it could have hydrolocked. Okay, and what happens is it actually, the intake, you know where your air filter is?
Right.
Well, that's where your air is going into the motor. Well, if you suck in water, it'll actually get on top of the piston. Water will. Water does not compress.
That's not good.
No. And water doesn't compress, so it stops. Your piston, your engine's running. And
you're done.
It stops. So if you go and try to start it, you're trying to compress that water, could bend a rod, do major engine damage.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they're saying is, if you go out there and you try to bump the starter, just try to bump it, and get the motor to turn a little bit. Maybe a valve will open, and if the valve will open, it will relieve the water pressure. But
you have to know what you're doing. It sounds like
know what you're doing
for that one.
Basically, what we would do if you brought it into the shop and it's hydrolocked, and you'd be surprised how many cars get hydrolocked, not just because of the storm, but other issues. You take out the spark plugs.
What else would cause water to get in there?
Like on certain GM models, the intake manifold is no longer made out of metal; it's all made out of plastic, and there's water passages in there, and they'll actually deteriorate and rot, and they'll just fill the inside of the motor up with water or coolant, and cause it to hydrolock. So you just take the spark plug. If you take the spark plugs out, now you give a passage for the water to come out. It'll come out the spark plug hole, and you'll just pump it all out. And
oh wow! So are there some cars that are more likely to survive going through a deep puddle than others?
Yeah, it depends on where they were drawing air from. If they're drawing air from the bottom of the vehicle, it's going to be easier to suck water up because your air intake is lower than, like, let's say a truck where it's up higher. So
makes sense.
The truck is so the water level would be 6 feet instead of 3 feet.
So that's why those trucks can go through all that mud and have no problem.
Sometimes they do, and like I don't know if you've ever seen a Jeep. They'll actually have a snorkel. They'll put a snorkel on a Jeep.
Yeah.
And if you can suck air from up top and exhaust air from up top, then you can basically run underwater.
So that's why they have them like that, then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's one that they use in Homosassa Springs to bring people back and forth, and I often wondered why they had that high thing. And you know what I thought? I thought it was to keep the exhaust from getting into the people's faces, because they're pulling like a train full of cars.
And that could be to exhaust up.
That's all it is.
But if the air intake is above, if it has a snorkel, that's because they don't want to get into a situation where they're going to suck in water.
Okay, now I made a car observation the other day, and I can't wait to see your face.
Okay.
And if you don't believe me, I have Robin to back me up on this. Okay, so I was driving down 484.
Okay.
A bright, sunny day between Highway 200 and Denellen. Okay. And I noticed that on the sunny parts of the street, the tires on the street made a different sound than on the shady parts of the street. Have you ever heard of this before?
How did you determine that there's a different sound?
I could hear it.
Like you roll down the window?
No. No, I don't think I rolled down the window at all. But I could hear the sound of the tires on the street, different sound on the sunny parts. And I'm not talking about a little shade, like when you pass a bunch of trees and there's a large amount of shade. It was a quieter sound. Then when you got in the sun, it was noisier again, a little bit louder. Huh. Have you ever heard that before?
Nope.
Do you want my witness?
No, I believe you.
You believe me?
I believe you. And let me tell you why I believe you. Because you're a musical kind of guy. So sounds
are something I pick up on.
Right.
Okay. And we have a theory. It's my phone. We have a theory. I don't know what that is. Is that your phone?
No, it's not my phone.
I don't think my phone is so hot. Do you know anything about phones? Why does it get hot? But okay, so my theory is that the heat of the sun is causing the street to be a little bit different. I don't know, more melted or something. I don't know.
Probably just hotter.
Just hotter and therefore softer, maybe?
Maybe it's affecting the compound of the tire a little bit.
Just something I observed, and I was wondering if anybody else ever pointed that out to you.
Nope, and I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, and I was trying it over and over and over again just to be sure that I wasn't like just imagining it, and yeah, it's absolutely true. It was a different sound.
Huh.
or so NASCAR. We were talking about NASCAR because we're giving away tickets. I don't have them yet, so don't be calling in because I don't know. Dan's got to fill me in on this. But you were telling me something that I think is really cool. When you go to the races, there's a headset you wear, and you can tune into the drivers. You listen to them. Mm-hmm. Can anybody buy that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is it called?
It's just a scanner. It's like a police scanner, weather scanner.
But it's for your headset. Well,
it's just a scanner, and then you buy. Like I have 2 headsets with mine, and mine plugs into the scanner. And then I have another jack, and my wife can plug in to my headset.
Okay, so
she can hear what I'm hearing.
Hear the same thing. Okay.
And then before the races start, there's guys out there selling tickets, and they sell scanner programs, and it has all the drivers.
So they want you to be listening.
Oh yeah, they don't mind at all. If you ever watch it on TV and you'll see they'll show people up in the stands and they're wearing headsets.
Really?
That's what they're doing. What was it? 2 years ago, we were able to go to the 400 as press. And
are you going this year?
No, I'm not. Joey's actually gonna be competing at the U.S. Men's Olympic Trials.
Gosh, wow, that's great.
And So no, we won't be going.
No, you got something more important to do.
I don't know if it's more important, but
it's important to you, supporting your child.
Yeah. But we got to go and we got to stay on the infield up on the top, and we had me and Joey actually went with us at that time, and he listened. He put on the other headset. And it's just interesting when you're a racer, when that's who you are.
Yes.
Being able to listen to all the conversations and
stuff. That is cool. So can you use it for anything else other than the races?
Yeah, you can use it as a police scanner.
Really?
Yeah. Weather scanner.
All right, we will take a little break. You are invited to call if you want to talk cars with Matt, or trucks, or engines, or flooded engines, or NASCAR. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and humid on this Tuesday with a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm in the area, high 85 to 89. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, low 72 to 76. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with showers and some heavier thunderstorms with flooding downpours, the high 85 to 89. Thursday, clouds and sun with a shower and thunderstorm or 2, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Big Daddy Don Garlitz, asking you to support adoption by purchasing a Choose Life license plate from your county tag office. You know it costs a lot to give a child life. Many times a woman is forced to make a bad choice because of financial pressures. Help save the lives of the unborn children by aiding women whom choose life instead of abortion. Take a stand for life. Purchase your Choose Life license plate today. For more information, go to chooselife.org or call 352-624-2854.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies! Here she is, folks.
The nuns at Queen of Angels will never be the same after Dolores moves in. Sister Act Once a Movie, now live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater, May 19th through June 12th. After witnessing a murder, Dolores hides out as Sister Mary Clarence and turns the little church upside down. Call 352-236-2274 or buy online at OcalaCivicTheater.com. It would be a sin to miss it.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
WOCA AM 1370. 96.3. 96.3
You're listening to WOCA Ocala.
18 minutes after 10 o'clock, and Matt Gibbs is here. We're talking about cars and NASCAR today a little bit, and the Olympics. Your son entering into the Olympics. He'll be, we're rooting for him. I know it's too early to say that.
Well,
but.
yeah, he's gonna. He had an honor and a privilege of competing with the Olympic team this last weekend. I just picked him up yesterday.
Wow.
And
how did he do?
He did okay, but he still got a ways to go. And
is he racing other people in wheelchairs?
Uh-huh.
So there are actually other people who are as good as him.
Oh, there's people way better.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Josh George is this is going to be his last Olympics, but he holds the world record.
And they all have their stories as to why they're in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Wow. We do have a phone call, Matt. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling and for hanging in there.
Okay, thank you, and hello, guys.
Hello.
Say, talking about racing the tires and stuff a little earlier. Now, do those racing cars like Indy and NASCAR, are those tires, do they have nitrogen in them? And don't they have to adjust, you get a fresh tire, and when you put it on that race car, let's say the track temperature is 100 degrees, 120 degrees, that tire is going to last for several laps. There's going to be some expansion there, isn't it? So don't you start the tire out with a lower air pressure, even if it's hydrogen?
Yes, they do. And I'm not 100% sure if they're using, it's nitrogen, not hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that those guys are using nitrogen in the tires. I can't swear by it. But yeah, a lot of times those crew chiefs, man, it's all formulated. I mean, they go out and they check barometric pressures, humidity, track temperature. The track, is it going to loosen up as the race goes on? Is it going to get tighter as the race goes on? Those guys, they do their due diligence, and they're not stupid people. They know what they're doing. And so, when they put on a fresh set of tires, yeah, they're going to say, in 10 laps, we're going to have this pressure, and we're going to be ready to go. We're going to be hooking up. They have it all figured out. It's amazing what those guys can do.
There a lot of spin-outs, crackouts, whatever you want to call, are caused by tire failure. Do you think that is basically caused by a buildup of pressure, or just a tire that's given out?
Well, I know in NASCAR, and on the NASCAR side, not so much the Indy side. I'm not a big Indy fan. I like watching NASCAR a lot more than the Indy cars. But the NASCARs all the tires are Goodyear tires. And Goodyear, they change formulas and rubber compounds, and they do experiments and they do testing, and sometimes it really works for the drivers and for the race team, and sometimes it's not. It doesn't work so good. You'll see, the crew chief is saying, we should be able to get 75 laps out of these tires, but they're only getting 68 laps out of these tires, and but the crew chiefs they're so awesome at what they do that they're ready to change up strategies. People think that, when you watch a race, like the 400 that's fixing it's just 43 guys out there racing this car. Well, there's so much more to it than that. There's a strategy. They go in with a game plan, just like in football and just like in other sports. We have this game plan. We're going to stick to this game plan, but then there's the outside things that happen. And then the crew chiefs have to change up the game plan. And they got to be ready to change that game plan at any second and make this call. Whether they come in for 4 tires, 2 tires, do we get a splash of gas? Do we not get gas?
Yeah.
They have to make these decisions instantly.
Wow.
And it's amazing to watch the ones that are really successful, not just the drivers. I get just as much joy out of watching the crew chiefs as I do the drivers, because people don't understand, at the end of when a checkered flag waves, and that person gets to do the donuts and smoke the tires and go backwards around the track. Man, there's so much more involved than just the driver himself.
Wow.
There is a team.
In Formula Racing, they have what they call the rain tire. Now, how is that different from a regular tire?
The rain tire it has grooves. It has tread on it. Where if it's not raining, they're slicks. NASCAR. I think NASCAR even has some kind of I don't know. I think they experimented some with rain tires or something.
Really?
But I think they have just pretty much come to the understanding, if it's raining, we got to stop this stuff, because NASCARs are just those cars. I mean, they're running at the brink of catastrophe all the time.
Yeah, sure.
If you could run 200 miles an hour, you could literally run up to the back of a NASCAR and just pick it up with one hand. It would actually, if you had enough force, you could just pick it up. And that's
if you could run 200 miles an hour, you'd be Superman.
Yeah, you would be.
So of course you could do that. Well, but why do you say that? I mean,
just because of the way that the cars are designed, the way that they're
so
pushing
light?
the envelope. I mean, it's just it's.
Could you pick one up if it was just sitting still?
No, you can't. It's about 2,300 pounds. I think they're 2,350 pounds or something like that. You can't. But when they're going 200 miles an hour, you can.
Because
there's so much force.
They're being lifted by the wind.
They're wanting to leave the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
They're wanting to. I don't know if you remember back in the older few years ago, especially in Talladega. See, Talladega, it's the same track as Daytona, except for the apron area. The apron area is just completely straight, and then there's like an 11-degree embankment between the apron and the track.
Yeah.
So the car is underneath a little V. So if those guys were really trucking back in the day, if they got in that spot, you just literally see the car just take off and fly away in the air.
Oh, wow.
It would just lift them off the track.
Oh, wow.
And then I think a lot of the dragsters, the NHRA guys, they started building those flaps, in the cars to keep them from...
Like an airplane.
Yeah, trying to keep them from being like an airplane. and then NASCAR, and then a few years after they created that, then you see NASCAR come out, and they started having the flaps when they start spinning out and flaps opening and pushing the car, keeping the car on the ground. Because it could be... quite dangerous.
So is there a sweet point for us as normal drivers where our cars are like would you say if you go 120 miles an hour, not that anybody would do this, but I mean, would the car be more likely to become airborne?
A lot of the cars, I know back in the day when I was working for General Motors and they came out with the Grand National, Buick came out with the Grand National, which was a pretty awesome car for what it was. And they started, their first year, I think, was in 84, 85 is when the first year they came out with them. In 86 and 87, they started having fuel shutoffs. So that car at 124.9 miles an hour, the fuel pump started shutting down to keep the car from going over 125 miles an hour because they said the car was unstable above this speed. So a lot of the performance cars started coming with, fuel shutoffs and different safety things that were put into the car.
In the opening scene of the Dukes of Hazzard, when that car flies.
Yeah.
Okay. Just picture that in your mind for a second, because I saw a news item where a car was going down one of those roads with one of those roundabouts. Okay. But he didn't go around it. He went through it, and it literally lifted his car like that Dukes of Hazzard scene. I mean, I don't know if that guy, he must have been really going fast.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, and it hits all four wheels, but I'm thinking that's the end of that car, right? He must have broke everything in the car.
Well, I don't know.
I should find it for you. I'll find that video for you. Yeah, he hit one of those. Don't you hate those roundabouts? Don't you hate roundabouts?
Yes, I do.
Roundabouts I hate roundabouts.
I do. They put them on Fort King now, and I'm like,
that's the. Yeah,
I'd rather go. I'd rather go way out of my way to go around them things.
We've got a few minutes left if you want to call up. By the way, while I'm looking for this, what is your contact information? Can I just say Matt is my mechanic because I've already done this before, but I mean I trust you. You know what you're doing, and you're fair. Those are the three things. So I just want people to know that's why we go to you, not because you do a radio show here. If you ever stopped doing the radio show, I'd still be coming to you with my car. I hope you keep doing the show, but I'm just saying. What is your contact information?
My contact information, you can call me at 352-690-1993, or you can come by and see us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, which is Highway 27.
It is Highway 27. You just got to go past it depending where you are. I'm looking for that video here. 2 weeks ago, see, this was in the news recently, so this must be it. Car goes airborne on roundabout. That's got to be it. So there's no picture yet, but so
I remember when we were kids. I was probably 16 years old. You know the old Sharps Ferry Bridge?
Yeah. Don't tell me.
I'm not going to. They might come and arrest me if I. We hit that bridge at 90 miles an hour.
Oh man!
On purpose.
And?
Yep.
You flew?
Yep.
Did you land?
Yep.
All right, let me find this video here. Let me see if I have it here. Not that I can show it to the listeners, but you just go to YouTube, put car roundabout airborne. Oh, this might be it. I'll tell you in a second if it's it. In the meantime, we've got to wrap up the show. Call him. This is it. Hold on. All right, we'll be right back. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Call Matt again. His number is 690, right? Am I doing the right number? There's so many numbers on here. 690-6695. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Motive will treat you right. Will treat you right.
News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. Voting in some of the election year's final primaries are underway in 6 states. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi has endorsed Hillary Clinton, who the AP says now has enough delegates to clinch the Democratic nomination. Meanwhile, Donald Trump facing more criticism over his controversial comments about a judge.
Donald Trump did last night on Bill O'Reilly's show back off just a little bit on the idea of Judge Curiel's Mexican heritage.
It's a civil lawsuit that should have been dismissed a long time ago, but the judge is treating me very unfairly.
Meanwhile, on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are using this as a cudgel with which to bludgeon Donald Trump.
Fox's John Roberts. Tropical storm Colin moving away from the East Coast after making landfall in Florida yesterday.
Around Jacksonville overnight, a couple of reports of either possible tornadoes.
Fox's Phil Keating in Gainesville, Florida. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Napa know-how.
Goop, gunk, sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's the stuff that makes your engine just plain dirty. Luckily, the active cleaning power of Pennzoil Conventional Motor Oil, just $3.39 a quart at Napa, helps keep your engine clean. So pick up Pennzoil Conventional for $3.39 a quart at Napa and say goodbye to gunk. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.
Ad Council. New windows will beautify your home and bring you immediate energy.